back in the Chiz kitchen, and today by looking outside you would not know it was the middle going towards the end of April. But we're going to try to bring a little sunshine into everybody's house today by taking us all down to Key West. We're going to make a key lime pie. Sitting here this morning listening to some Barefoot Radio with Kenny Chesney got us in the mood, and now we're going to start with a traditional graham cracker crust. I was reading this morning too about key lime pie. It originated obviously down in Key West, like over 100 years ago, over 110, 20 years ago actually, by a woman named Aunt Sally. So thank you, Aunt Sally. We're gonna try our rendition of key lime pie here in upstate New York, bringing us a little sunshine. Graham cracker crust. Key ingredient, graham cracker crumbs. Now I buy them already made into crumbs, but you can easily use your graham crackers and crush them yourself. Put them into a Ziploc bag, crush them up. You can use a rolling pin, bottom of a glass, anything that will be heavy enough to crush the crumbs. That's all you're really looking to do. So right now we're going to do about 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs. So let's pour those in here. I've got my oven over there preheating right now at 325, a slow oven, because I'm going to do it for a longer amount of time. So there's 1 cup, and there we go, we got about another 1/2 cup. Excellent. 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs. And I'm going to use confectioner's sugar. Okay, I just kind of like that idea better. It kind of, I think once you add the butter, it kind of glues it all together a little bit and when you bake it. So in here I have about 1/4 cup of confectioner's sugar. And then to that, I'm just going to add about 1/3 cup of melted butter. Simple. There we go. There, then I'm just going to take a simple fork, stir it all up. It's going to get kind of like, I think one of the ways I've seen it described is like sand. Between the color of it and the consistency, it's like, you know, finding some sand, sandcastle-ish. See, this is perfect for thinking about Key West. Think of the beach. You want your crust like some sand. It's all working together. All right. As you can see, there we go. You got that, Tim? We got some sand going on in there. Yeah? Maybe we can put our toes in the sand. Maybe not. Okay, so good enough. We're just gonna take the pie plate. Now I just have a 9-inch pie plate right here. You don't need to do anything to it prior to this. You're just going to dump in all those crumbs. Okay. Spread it out a little bit, and then you're just gonna start pressing it in there. I like to start with, I usually use like a measuring spoon or something. It starts to give it a little shape. And you're just gonna start by pressing that in there. And the more you press, and the tighter you make this, the better this pie will come out in the end. Because a lot of times when you cut a pie or a cheesecake or something that's got a graham cracker crust, they a lot of times fall apart. So the key to that, and I'm not saying I always have it come out perfect, but the key to it is to get this in here nice and tight. And like I said, a scoop or a glass or something kind of helps you do that. It gives you something to use to put some pressure against it. So you're doing it around the bottom as well as up the sides. Okay, we're almost done here. There you go, you can see that. Whoop, I'm going over the edge. Okay. Got a couple of cracks down here in the middle. Fix those. There we go. All right, that's the crust. How simple is that? I'm gonna pop this in, like I said, it's 325 for about 15 minutes. You don't want it to get too dark, but you do want it to get a little browner than what it is now. Okay, so I'll walk this over here, put it in the oven, set a timer for 15 minutes, and then we have to let it cool for about 30 minutes, and we'll make a filling. And we're back, and we have a pie crust, and it's done and it's cool. So now we're gonna make the filling. I've got a couple of limes here. I've already zested one of them, and I'm gonna zest a second one. If you've never invested in a zester, I'm going to suggest you do so. Just another kitchen gadget that makes life easier. I happen to find this one on Amazon, where I find a lot of little tools. I have a love-hate relationship with Amazon. I'm sure a lot of you do. When I was younger, I remember I would go over to my husband's grandmother's house, Grandma Bessie, for all of my husband's family. And you would walk in and she would be sitting there, usually with her dogs, and watching QVC. And now I feel like Amazon has become the QVC of a new generation. So I sit there sometimes and picture myself almost like Grandma Bessie as I make my orders off Amazon and wait for them to be delivered. Okay, there we go. We've got enough zest here. Okay, these are just regular limes too. I didn't bother to buy special key limes for this because I'm just using the zest here, because I'm actually going to cheat for the juice. I am not going to go buy a dozen to 15 little key limes. I'm going to use bottled Key West lime juice that you can find. I always find it in Wegmans. It's usually though over like in the bar area where you're gonna find like the mixers and stuff like that. In some stores, maybe you would find it with the regular lime juice, but I usually find it in with, the bar stuff. So we'll give it a little shake here. We're gonna do 3/4 of a cup of lime juice. And this is it's not a pretty color. It's not like it's green. And I did read too that a traditional key lime pie, you do not want to add green food coloring to it. I never have anyway, but point being, apparently that's taboo to do that. So let's see, we've got almost there. Okay, so we've got 3/4 of a cup of key lime juice. I'm just going to pour this into a big bowl here that'll make it easier to pour out of. Then the other special ingredient that is in all the key lime pies is sweetened condensed milk. And yeah, if you don't like sweet stuff, then there is no key lime pie for you, because it's definitely on the sweeter side. But this is actually a pretty easy recipe to put together. It doesn't include a lot of ingredients, and they're all pretty easy ingredients to find. Like I said, even the key lime juice, if you can venture out to Wegmans in your weekly trip on a specific day and whatnot, then grab a bottle of key lime juice. Like I say, it's not expensive. I want to say it was like maybe $2 or $3. Keep it in your fridge. Make yourself a couple of key lime pies. Okay. Plus right now, we could probably all use a little extra vitamin C, right? Keep you from catching any colds. Okay, so there's a little bit of the sweetened condensed milk. 2 cans. So 2 14-ounce cans of sweetened condensed milk, not evaporated, the sweetened condensed milk. We've got the 3/4 of a cup of lime juice. Now, a lot of recipes actually have you use egg yolks. Here, Bruce, you hear those little claws clip, 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 clip? He will not let me cut them. Okay, anyway, half a cup of sour cream. No egg yolks are gonna go into this. And this will still set up really well. And I've even used light sour cream. So versus 4 egg yolks, which just seems like a lot of extra fat in there that's not necessary, I use this recipe, which like I said, is a half a cup of sour cream. And you can, like I said, I've used it, use the light sour cream in there. So there's the sour cream, and to that now we'll add this lemon zest. And that's gonna give it a little bit of a green tint too. Okay, now we're gonna just kind of whisk this all together. Okay, now I did also change the temperature on the oven. It is now set at 350. It was at 325 when I did the crust for the 15 minutes. And the good part about this too, I mean, baking time is going to be very minimal. It's going to only be like 10 minutes. So quick whisk. Everything together. You can see that it's already stiff, getting stiffer. Look at that. Okay, looks good. Gonna grab our pie shell. And you can see, maybe you can, maybe you can't. It's just a little bit browner around the edges, a little bit browner in the middle there. And it smells really good while it's cooking too. So that's cooled off now. We'll just add all this filling. Now I'm gonna end up putting a topping on this too. And we'll do that a little bit later too after it's cooled off. And it's again, not a typical, it's not just a whipped cream topping. We're going to make that a little bit different too. So we're just gonna even this out in here. What I like about this too is those beautiful flecks from the lime zest. Just gives it a pretty color. You can see it didn't keep that icky color, I don't know, of the lime juice. It looks a little bit better now. So we've got a couple of teaspoons of lime juice, a couple of cans of sweetened condensed milk, a half a cup of sour cream, and 3/4 of a cup of key lime juice in our graham cracker crust, going into our 350-degree oven for just 10 minutes. I'll bring it out and then I'm gonna let it cool for a few hours and then we're gonna put a topping on it. Okay, we have a chilled pie. It is looking delicious. Now we're gonna just finish it off with a quick whipped cream topping, but it's a little spin on a whipped cream topping. What I'm gonna start with is a half a cup of whipping cream. And to that, we're going to add a half a cup of sour cream. Okay, this is gonna cut down on a lot of the sweetness and make it almost a little bit tangy. But since we have so much sweetness already with the key lime pie, I think it's a nice accompaniment to it. So we've got that, and then just 2 tablespoons of confectioner's sugar, which is a lot less than some of the other recipes might have had too. So half a cup of heavy cream, half a cup of sour cream, and 2 tablespoons of the confectioner's sugar. I'm gonna start to whip this up. When it's all whipped up, we'll come back here and I'm gonna show you a quick and easy way to pipe it onto the pie, okay? Okay, I just finished here and we've got some semi-stiff peaks. It doesn't get quite as stiff as maybe a regular whipped cream, but it gets stiff enough to hold a shape. So, set this over here. Now we're gonna put this into a bag and we're going to put it on top of this pie. I need another spatula. Here we go. In the the meantime, I just wanted to take a second and say, this past week I received a couple of pictures from some of my friends who actually made some of the recipes, which really made me feel great. I got a picture of some bunny butt cupcakes, and I got a picture of someone who made scones. And I'll tell you what, it really made my day. I mean, we're just doing this really for the fun of it and to give ourselves something to do, but then to see that you people actually tried some of the recipes was pretty fun. So I appreciate that. So if anybody else actually makes one of these recipes, wants to send me a picture or something, hey, it makes my day. Okay, what I did is I took all of the cream, the whipped cream, we've got it here in a Ziploc bag, and I'm just trying to get some of the air out of it. And instead of getting out a whole pastry bag or something, we're just gonna use this Ziploc bag. It's gonna be just as good. And then whatever we don't use, we can toss too. It'll make it easier. So you can see I'm just pushing it down towards the tip, okay? Or the corner. And now I'm just gonna take a pair of scissors and start with a small cut. You can always make it bigger. So we'll see how that looks. And we're just gonna make some big dollops here. There we go, that's perfect. And I'm just gonna put these around the edge of the pie so that when every person gets a bite, they'll have a little bit of whipped cream here. And it'll cut through some of that sweetness for them. And you can see how quick that is. Put a nice big one here in the middle. Well, or we can just make a design with it too when it just comes pouring out. How about that? There we go. Some kind of symbol there with a dollop in the middle. There, that's how you fix that. Okay, so here we have the key lime pie. I know a lot of people really enjoy them. Like I said, they are a little sweet, but I know our family likes it. It's a recipe I've used before. I hope you enjoy it if you do decide to make it. And again, like I said, go ahead and throw me a picture. I'd appreciate it. And if not, if you just learned a new technique or something like that, that's cool too. So we'll keep doing these. Looks like maybe what, for at least another 4 weeks. And hopefully that'll be it, at least as far as we'll be able to do it then just by choice, not by we're so bored we have to do this. I'm just kidding. Anyway, everybody again, stay healthy, stay in if you can, and make a key lime pie.